Now, I want to remind you about our Prime Minister and the leader of the free world, because Albo doesn't seem to learn. Remember how desperate he was just last week to get a meeting with the Commander-in-Chief of our main security ally? Yeah, Anthony Albanese was so desperate to meet Donald Trump that he bounced up to him and grabbed a selfie like a fanboy. And he still hasn't had a proper meeting. He's hoping to do that later this month. Now, that's bad for Albo, of course, but it's also very bad for our country. And it's all come about from the antipathy that Albanese has shown towards Trump.
We have an alliance with the US, we've got to deal with him, but that doesn't mean that you're uncritical about it. He scares the shit out of me.
Now, that's pretty silly, but Albanese made it worse, of course, by appointing his great mate Kevin Rudd to Washington, a former PM who's also bagged Trump relentlessly.
That this madman called Trump could have been elected.
The United States in the last 4 years has been run by a village idiot.
Do these fools think the White House doesn't notice this stuff? It's just embarrassing stuff from people who should know better. Then in his first term, of course, Albanese made no attempt to meet Trump when he was just a former president running to be president again. Instead of reaching out for a meeting then to hedge Australia's bets, if you like, Albo ignored Trump and barracked for the Democrats, the weekend at Bernie's presidency of Joe Biden and his hopeless vice president and replacement candidate Kamala Harris. Well, Albo lost that bet, and so did Australia. Now, 11 months after Trump's re-election, our PM still hasn't had a meeting with him. So you'd think that Albo would have learned. You'd think he'd do what's best for Australia now. But no. While he was in Britain last week and spoke to the UK Labour conference, caught up with the unpopular Labour Prime Minister Keir Starmer, Albo did not meet Nigel Farage, the Reform UK powerhouse, who all the polls suggest could be the next British Prime Minister. Farage shared his views on all this with Paul Murray last night.
I'm afraid the Australian PM not only didn't reach out, but he made it clear that he doesn't want to meet me. He thinks my politics are unacceptable. Made it very, very clear that he wanted nothing to do with me, which, when you think about it, long term is pretty stupid. Because if I am the Prime Minister in a few short years, surely the relationship with Australia matters to all of us. But that is how narrow-minded leftists like Albanese are.
Farage is spot on. Albanese is too caught up in his radical left ways. He loves fighting Tories and all that. He's preoccupied with partisan politics instead of what's best for our country. That's not leadership. That's radical left activism.